being one of 5 until I heard Dr. Rena Giles-Rice. Wait until you hear her story. Please welcome her.
Good evening. Well, first of all, let me say thank you, Ms. Jan. Thank you so much. And before I get started, let me say thank you. And you are such a good-looking crowd, so you need to give yourselves a great hand. As Ms. Jan said, I am Rena Giles-Rice, and I grew up in an extremely large family. Now, this is the part when you're supposed to say, well, how large was it? How large was it? I'll tell you in a moment. Just bear with me. Of course, my father and mother got married very young, and I heard someone else said that, so we share some commonalities here. My father and mother were very young when they met. My father was 17 years old, and my mother was 16 years old. So they fell in love, and of course they wanted to marry. Of course they were not young enough, they were not old enough to do that on their own, so of course they had to seek their parents' permission. And of course they were granted that permission. And of course they got married young, as I said, and about a year later, then they started the family. Now, my older sisters always said that our parents felt more like older, bigger brother and a bigger sister because the age was not that wide span. Well, anyway, the kids kept coming, and I'm going to answer the question. They are 15 children. 15 children. Yes, you heard me correctly. 15 children. 12 girls and 3 boys. Now, we grew up in a very modest home. It was very modest. We had 4 bedrooms in our home. So that meant that 2 rooms were designated for the girls. 1 room was designated for my brothers. And of course, my parents, they had their own room. Well, the rooms were pretty sizable. So there were 2 beds in each room. So you had 3 girls to a bed. We had 3 girls to a bed, and of course my brothers, my older brother, he had his own bigger bed, and then the younger brothers, you know, the bunk bed, the top and bottom, the 2 other brothers, they had that. So we grew up like that, of course, and we got along really well. Tempers didn't flare much, only when it was sleep time. Now you're asking, well, how can your temper flare when you're sleeping? Well, sometimes you hear, stop kicking me. Or we heard, stop hogging the covers. Or, slide over. You're pushing me out of the bed. So we heard that a lot, and oftentimes the one who would be complaining about falling out of the bed, that one would make a bed on the floor. Well, lo and behold, you woke up in the morning, the others were on the floor too with the one who was trying to get away from them. So the bond was really, really tight. It was natural grafting. Just like sometimes when you see trees or, you know, 2 trees are nearby each other, and over the years, the bark starts rubbing away, and then when the wind starts blowing and the trees start fusing. Well, that happened to us. We were together. We showed a lot of love for each other. And we had a lot of responsibilities too in our house. Now, my dad had his own business. He was the breadwinner. My mother was a homemaker. So that was her job. and she ran that house like a tight ship. She had a schedule for us who washed dishes. We had a schedule. Took a week at a time, and the fact is that there were so many of us, it would be 2 months before we would get around to doing dishes again. So we got a break doing that. And every now and then, the older sisters would give us like a treat or something to wash for them, do their week, and sometimes, you know, we would do it when we didn't get caught, you know, because my mom wanted us to, you know, learn responsibility, learn those kinds of things. From the outside looking in, maybe people thought we were poor. If we were, we didn't know it, because we were rich in love. We were rich in integrity. We were rich in getting along and helping others and doing the things that just common people always did. And we loved doing that. And so after that, our parents also taught us about service. To render service to others, not just be selfish. So a lot of times we would go out into the community and we would help the elders, the disabled. We enjoyed doing that. We got gratitude out of doing that. And my father made sure that we understood the value of that and the value of hard work. He made sure we did that. And so as we grew up, and some of the older ones got, you know, a couple of them may have gotten married, so they went away. But my father, he made sure we had what we needed. We didn't get everything we wanted, but we got everything we needed. And later on, as some of the older ones kind of went their different ways, my father started building our new house. And he said he wanted to build a house that was big enough to accommodate all of us, even the ones who went away, because he knew they would come back, they would have their families, and he wanted a place big enough for everyone. And he did that. And then when it was time for us to move into our new house, everybody was so excited. We're getting our own rooms, we got all that. And we did, when we moved over to our new place. And the thing about that is, the bond was never broken. Because when we moved in our new house and we had our own rooms, guess what we did? We got in the bed with each other. We did. We sure did. But what I didn't know then, and what my sisters and brothers didn't know, we were suffering from separation anxiety. That's what it was. But the thing about it is, we loved each other. And even to this day, when everybody comes back, as grown as we are, we go to our big house with the family, and everybody gathers together, and believe it or not, sometimes we still get in the bed together, or we make beds on the big floor, and everybody's just there, just a big slumber party, having a good time. So what I'm saying here is, in closing, never underestimate the value of love. Love conquers everything. And when you love, your heart will always be open to be loved and to share love with everyone. And that is the thing that I want you to take away. I appreciate you. Thank you for my story, for listening to my story. You are an amazing audience. Thank you.